for being someone who's kind of in a public light, حوغا nervous فانها, so if you'll bear with me. Again, assalamu alaikum. Wuxuuna adeer yiri Soomaaliga hanaga goyn, but then I don't know sidaan saas u suubin doono. Aniga waddankan aan kusoo koray. I've been here for a very long time. Ingiriiska wuxuu noqday first language kayga because meer kasta aan ku hadlaa, meer kastaan joogo. Koley again magacaygu waa Ifarah. Waxaan ahay hooyo, waxaan haysta wiil 12 sano jiro 7th grade ku jiro haddadan. Waxaan ahayna macallin, waxaan dhigaa 9th grade science. Markas waxaan la shaqeeyaa at home and at work. Waxaan la shaqeeyaa dad yar oo adolescents ah. And this is a really critical period, a very important period in human development. Marka aniga waxaan jeclaa inaan study gareeyo dadkan la shaqeynaya ilmaha guriga ii jooga maskaxdooda iyo developmentally meeshay marayaan noloshooda. And I think that's beneficial, both as a parent and as a teacher. Marka everything oo dadka hadda soo dhaheen, I agree 100%. inaad ilmahaada schoolkiisa la socotid, inaad la socotid macallimiintiisa, inaad la xiriirtid, inay macallimiinta ku bartaan. That's very beneficial. Ani waan jecel waalidiinta markay ila soo xiriiraan oo ka qayb galaan ilmahooda waxbarashadooda oo i weydiiyaan xataa hebel siduu yahay, hadduu waxbarashada xataa ku fiican yahay socially siduu yahay, dadka muu la heshiiyaa, si fiican muu hadlaa, respectful miyuu yahay. aad bay u fiicanta arrimahaas oo kale inaad ka warhaysad ilmahaada siduu yahay, because macallimiinta iyo schoolka wuxuu joogaa 8 hours a day. More time anaka nala qaato waa kula qaadanin. By the time adigu guriga kugu imaado wuu daalan yahay, maybe maba kula sheekaysan karo because he's tired. maanta dhan school buu ku maqan yahay. So ilmahaada teacherkaada iyo ilmaha ay wax la dhigtaan bay most of the time la joogaan. Dadkaas they really know your child. Marka aad baan dadka ku dhihi lahaa la xiriir macallimiinta, schoolka ka warqab, aad schoolka saad oo la socotid like waxbarashada ilmahaada. And I really agree with Abaay Shacni waxay tiri inaad ilmahaada yeah, that you oh gosh, Somali is so difficult for me. I'm sorry. What I wanted to say is that I completely agree, and I don't want to bore you and repeat everything that people said, right? So what I wanted to talk about is the adolescent like brain development. Okay, a lot of times we think that they're physically mature as well as mentally mature, but they're not. The body looks like qof weyn inuu yahay, laakiin maskaxda is still a child, right? Qaybaha maxaa la yiraahdaa maskaxdooda ka shaqaysiinaysana ma aha qaybo oo decision making garanayso. This is the last part of the brain. It's called the prefrontal cortex, or meesha maskaxda hore, and that is responsible for making good decisions. And it's not developed until like 25 to 30 years old. Marka ilmaha they're working with their what's called the amygdala and the hippocampus. Taasna waxay maamushaa emotions. Marka these young people, they are thinking with their emotions. Marka aan la yaabna waxay suubinayaan, they're not making good decisions because the part of their brain or decision fiican suubiso wali si fiican iskuma imaanin, fully developed ma aha, right? So and I try to think about that when I'm dealing with teenagers. I try to think about that markaan guriga jooga ilmahayga oo markuu yaraa, they go from being really sweet to they start talking back to you. And then way dhibsanayaan hadalkaada. And then meel kale ku mashquulsan yihiin, mise computerka ku mashquulsan yihiin, mise TV-ga ku mashquulsan yihiin. Anyways, dhibka hadalkaada way dhibsanayaan. Hadaa wax u sheegteen way dhibsanayaan. Hadalka kugu soo celinayaan. Ilmahaada sweet innocent aha is now like growing horns, you know? Marka, and I remember that because aabbahay aniga xataa igu yiri markaan wuxuu yiri 13 sano markaa gaartay, you grew horns. Markaasaan maxaa la yiraahdaa, I became an adolescent. That's when I was going through the changes, right? But the changes are not just physical, the changes are also emotionally and mentally. And I feel culture keena dhaqan ahaanteena waxaan u malaynaa ilmaha markay soo qaangaaraan inay mentally, emotionally also qaangaaraan, but they're still children, right? So marka dadka dhan waxay dadka iga horeeya, they said really important things. Ilmaha saaxiib la noqo, la sheekayso, noloshooda step by step oo la soco. Sometimes they're not going to give you a lot of information. So inaad si u weydiisid waay. Sometimes ayagoo kaa filanaynin inaad wareysanaysid, maybe meel baa u socotin gaariga wadatin, and I just throw in a question. Waxaan dhihi, today maanta maxaa ugu fiicnaa maalinkaada? Instead of saying how was your day at school, I'll say something like, what was the best part of your day? What didn't go so well? Like what was something that disappointed you? How did you feel, like, let's say in science class, I do science school, how did you feel about math today? You know, just like little questions, so that will remain in an interrogation kusubinay. Because marka interrogation kusubisit, they shut down. That's it. Waxbana kama helaysid. So you gotta get them in a nice situation where it's unexpected, right? But you have to, as a parent, step by step, their mental and emotional development. Because this period, adolescence, wa markay rabaan inay ogaadan who they are. So the big questions in their life is, who am I? They're trying to figure out their identity, right? Ader mentioned something really important. Ilmaha waxay kusoo korayaan Maraykan, waalidiintana waxay kusoo koreen Soomaaliya. A lot of parents waxay rabaan ilmahooda inay ahaadaan the way they were raised. But that's not possible because, first of all, different generation baad kusoo koraysin. So there's already a time difference, there's a generational difference. There's a cultural difference as well. I think Somali walidinta have a really hard time accepting that ilmahooda part of their kids is American. Right? They're growing up here and they're adapting to this culture. And this culture is becoming their culture. And they have a little bit of Somali, a little bit of American. They have their own unique culture. Right? So I feel like some of the things that is just that lack of understanding, that not understanding that culturally your kids might be a little different from you. Especially since a lot of them probably are not going to go back to Somalia. And this is their country now. And they're becoming invested politically, socially, right? So I feel like there's like a barrier, a cultural barrier, a language barrier. Right? One of the people before me said that Mamoinko or Aboinko, they're not learning the language. Right? I can tell you, I'm a little nervous because of everything that's going on, right? And I shouldn't be nervous because I'm used to being in front of the camera but not representing myself, right? Usually when I'm behind the camera or in front of the camera, I'm portraying a different character. But but the fact of the matter is a lot of kids that are growing up here, English is their first language. It's their native language now, right? They don't really speak Somali. They might hear it. My son, he hears it, but he can't say anything back to me. I feel bad about that. But I also know a lot of parents that are like that. A lot of parents have children or have Somali kuhadlin, right? So culturally, language-wise, the environment becomes a part of you. It becomes part of your identity. You can't escape that. The environment that you grow up in, especially in these critical years, adolescence, these critical years where kids are asking themselves, who am I? All they have to do is look around them. Who do they interact the most with? The most. Where are they? They're in an American public school, right? They have peers. They're receiving a certain education. And maybe you can balance that a little bit by what you do at home. But what I see sometimes is, most of the time what I see is, Somali baan nahay, sidaan baan subinaa, sidaas ma subino. And the kids are receiving conflicting messages, right? They're receiving conflicting messages because at school, I mean, they might be Jama' who's a Somali kid, but who's also Jama' who was born here and grown up here and has friends, and who mostly speaks English, right? So there's a cultural conflict, an identity conflict. And I can personally speak to that because I also grew up in this country and I came here when I was 12 years old. And my parents tried to Dhaqan Celis. They tried to send me to Garisa. You know, I have horrible nightmares about Garisa. It's hot and there's a lot of mosquitoes and I did not like that place, right? But I feel like part of the things that we need to do is that we need to accept that our kids have a different culture from us. And in Allahno, or we make peace with that. We make peace with that. They're not growing up in a country that you grew up in. They're not growing up in a culture that you grew up in. And they are their own people. You need to still find a way for them to remain your children. That they still have a home with you, that they can still come home to you and you are a safe place, even though they might be a little bit different. Because when I was growing up, a big alienation, like a distance between myself and my parents. Right? I couldn't tell them anything, and it was so I only had my father, but I couldn't tell my father about anything because I was afraid of what he would think of me. We are afraid what you think about us because we do care about what you think about us. waxaan rabnaa inaa markasta wax fiican naga fakartid inaan nahay qof fiican marka waxyaalo qaarkood kuma sheegi karno, right? Because you might think badly of us and your opinion about us, it matters to us, you know? So that's another thing, like the open door policy. I really believe in that open door policy. One time, he's 12 years old, right? School I was really worried. The first couple of weeks, you know, I was happy. And then one day, he got in trouble. I got a call. I came home. You know, just typical parent. I can't believe you. Like, why would you do that? You know? And you know, he said something really important to me. Because I'm a single mom, and I'm busy, and I'm always on the go. And throughout my child's entire life, marna undergraduate ban ku jiray, marna master's degrees man diyaarinay, marna shaqaan aadaya, marna ilmaan haystay, you know? So all this time he's seeing me go. Wuxuu yiri, if you spend time with me and loved me more, maybe I wouldn't do these things. I just sat down. I just sat down and I held him. I said, I'm so sorry. Because he doesn't care about the degrees. The degrees. asaga wuxuu rabaa his mom. Wuxuu rabaa inaan computer hor fadhin markaan guriga joogo. Wuxuu rabaa inaan waqti la qaato. Even though he's getting older, wali wuu ii baahan yahay. Even when we're getting older, we still need you. Right? Because adolescence and growing up is scary. And we want to know that you got our back. Right? We want to know markaan guriga imaano, we're your child and you love us no matter what. A lot of times, like, I talk to young people a lot because I work with them, right? And I'm in social media, so I just like talk about my journey anyways. And a lot of young people tell me like, I can't tell my mom this because guriga liga fijinaya. Ariga markaan yar guriga liga fiji. You know? But that's the worst thing you can do to your child. You know what? You know why? Because they're going to find the love that you're not giving them somewhere else. And it's not going to be good for them. Right? If you're a girl, you might find it in a man that's not good for you. Right? If you're a boy, you might be finding it in a gang or drugs. Right? But that's what you do to us when you kick us out. You throw us to the wolves. So, and a lot of parents do that. A lot of our parents do that. Where am I going to go? You know? So what I'm trying to say with all of this is, keep your children close to you, no matter what. Whether they're good or they're bad. They're your children. Okay? So keep them near you. When they mess up, and they will. He's 12 years old. I anticipate that he's going to do something wrong because there's no one who's perfect. Right? So when he does wrong, I'm going to obviously tell him what you did was wrong. But the first thing that I do is I hug him. And I tell him, I love you. Whether you do wrong or right, you are my child. And I will always love you no matter what. He needs to hear that. Because a lot of times, they just throw you away. You know, you're not their child anymore. But oh, first of all, get out, leave. Right? So when we do wrong, we know we want you to make us feel like especially gabdaha. Right? A lot of times, as you can see, you know, I don't wear hijab. That was one of the things Kenya right? It didn't change my behavior, right? It didn't change me, right? I'm still the same person. But oh, she doesn't wear hijab. Heblaya, she wears like short skirts. Heblaya goes to the shisha spot. Heblaya is doing that. Heblaya is doing this, right? And we used to have a village. You know, in America, we don't want that surveillance. Surveillance. Because the culture here is different. From the moment that kindergarten you're told you shouldn't be a tattletale. Stop tattletaling, right? So our culture as children who are growing up in America is telling someone else what your child did wrong. It's seen as a bad thing. So there's a culture difference between parents and children. waalidiintu waxay u maleynayaan wax fiican inay tahay inay hablaayo banaanka ka fiirinayso oo ay ku sheegayso waxay qof ilmahaada u subinay. Anigana waxaan u arkaa, why isn't hablaayo staying in her lane? That ain't none of her business. You know? So there's a cultural difference between parents and children. And the gap will widen unless there's a lot of love and acceptance. You keep your children close to you. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And you accept them as like flawed human beings. They're gonna mess up a lot of times, and sometimes they're gonna disappoint you. But tell them that you still love them, okay?